Hello, uh, this is Latvian Nerd, and I would like to share with you some gameplay of Tomb Raider Legend, one of my favorite games of all time, at least that's how I remember it. Before then before Tomb Raider Legend I did play other Tomb Raider games, and basically this was a really nice return to the gaming life that I missed out on because of a broken computer. I'll give some commentary and talk about the game as I play it.
Just because no one's ever caught one doesn't mean they're not real.
That is very true, but perhaps they don't wish to be found. I've heard they're rather fierce.
Yeti only look fierce. They probably don't like being so cold all the time. I shouldn't like it either.
You never have to be cold, my Lara, if you don't want to be.
Look!
Henry, what's happened?
Lead Croft.
Mayday, mayday! This is Bravo Tango 229er. We lost our port side engine. Trying to get cross feeds open.
Are we going to crash?
Starboard engine non-responsive.
Not unless it's absolutely necessary.
Stabilizer jam. Kicking rudder losing altitude. We're going full nose down!
Close your eyes, darling.
I don't want to close my eyes.
I think you forgot your climbing gear on purpose.
What would give you that idea? Really, Zip. It's like going up a set of stairs, only far less boring.
Yeah? Well, I want to throw up every time you look down. Hey, Alice is back. Grab a headset.
This is head-dizzyingly high.
From Florence, wasn't it?
Decided on Genoa at the last minute. My dissertation will never see daylight at this rate, but never mind that. What are you doing in Bolivia?
Ascending. Alistair, meet Tuanak. She's a lovely pre-Incan civilization, currently in ruins.
Delighted.
I've been looking for certain artifacts. Well, for some time now. And an old friend working in the powers has tipped me off with a rather promising rumour.
What sort of artifact?
Here's the thing about
Stone dates,
my
among others.
past about this game.
Big rock. And she won't say why.
Finally, I
Where would
was.
suspense be
I
otherwise?
think I was about the penultimate or the final year of my high school when my parents finally bought a new computer. I was able to actually play games as graphically intensive as this. It was about year 2005 or 2006, somewhere around that time. It was before the game was released, actually. And the first time I heard about this game was very basically, in some journal. It wasn't really a gaming journal back then, but yeah. I was really looking forward to playing this game since I played Tomb Raider games before, and I really, really loved them. So, yeah, back in the day, even though we finally managed to buy a computer that was able to play this game, I still wasn't really that expensive or wasn't really that high end.
Hey, do me a favor and check your PDA.
so I wasn't be able to play the game in maximum
It still works, if that's what you're wondering.
maximum quality.
Cool. They said it was waterproof. You should be able to swim with it, no problem. Unless you eat it, then you'll have to wait an hour.
What surprised me about this new game, specifically Legend, in comparison to the previous titles, is the fact how... Oh, right, that wasn't it. That wasn't the right button. What surprised me about the game specifically back then, when I played Tomb Raider Legend, was how fluent the controls were. Before then I played Tomb Raider 3, there was Chronicles as well, I think also Angel of Darkness. The controls always felt so clunky.
The video is going to make me sick if you keep on swinging, Lara.
Look away from the screen then.
So I kind of always was amazed at how easy to control this game. Control Lara was. Press delete to turn your personal gear on. Yeah, I used different buttons back then. I should have probably remapped them. Anyway, the graphics kind of really impressed me back at the time. But what I was really impressed about back then, and still I actually love an aspect of this game, is the fact that the soundtrack itself. It's very like ancient, this ancient like inspirational music. I really felt like it was beautiful, and I thought that let's remember, how did I actually... I remember the first time I played through this area. Right.
That's too close.
Anyway, I was surprised at all those, at all the graphics and all the mechanics. It was really something new, since, well, things were very different back then.
Copy that. I'm here, but I don't see no climber. Yeah, well, I can't shoot on sight if I can't see nobody. Got worked up thinking I'd put someone down today. Now there's nothing. He owes me one. Hell yeah, I'll tell Rutland myself. You know it. Give him the radio. It's a snipe hunt anyhow. You saw the place below the LZ. No way someone free climbed that. That's Sanchez.
Any idea who he is or who he works for?
I haven't the foggiest. He's deliberately unremarkable.
Is that good or bad?
It's deliberate, which isn't good.
The game mechanics also fascinated me, because there wasn't, but in the previous Lara Croft games, the physics were, let's just say, unremarkable. They were mostly, well, either push or pull mechanics, and nothing really ever any physics engine back in the day. It's kind of still samey like that, but at least does give sort of a bit of a heft to the items moving around and actually interacting with them. Some of the new mechanics, like for example grappling hook like this one, is actually pretty fascinating, because nothing of that sort existed back in the day.
So what? You jumped out and started swinging?
Yeah, sort of danced around, screaming and yelling, whatever.
Yeah? Well, I would have kicked the hell out of you.
Yeah, whatever, man. came flying at me screaming monkey talk like that, man. Just did the first thing that popped into my head. Just bam. Flicked it right there. She is.
Ow.
Are these guys? The question is, why go to this much trouble to guard some ruins?
Quite.
Alright, this was the way to sneak up on them. Yeah, anyway. Of all the Crystal Dynamics trilogy Tomb Raider games, Legend is still my favorite. Because, well, because of the soundtrack, because of well, the story itself, it really made me feel like I'm part of a larger, greater story. Let's see. Oh, kind of a big adventure back in the day. Games weren't really that big on storytelling back in the day. Well, on the way how to tell stories. And yes, I did actually back in the day also hunt for these little treasures.
Isn't she beautiful? I'm falling in love all over again.
You say that to all the ruins.
I'm a terribly lucky girl. And here come the bloody tourists to spoil it.
Your cam doesn't pick up detail that small. What do you see?
Men with guns. Mercenaries by the look of them.
What are they doing there?
Getting into trouble.
Two of them down. Alright, I got a new weapon. Let's see, like this. Still gotta remember the controls, so probably how to properly to use them. It's been a very long time since I played this game. Still, it's very easy to control. I'm not using any gamepads or anything of that sort, just simply mouse and keyboard. And it's very easy to. I remember I actually struggled here when I was younger. Well, granted I was younger, and I wasn't really that good of a gamer back then. But now it's different. Now I actually know what I'm doing. Now let's see. I don't think that there were any other secrets around here. May be wrong though, because I don't think that I have completely found 100% of all the items.
That sounded permanent.
Death by irony is always painful. Amateurs.
And come to think of it, she's kind of cold-blooded here, is pretty much like she is very much used to killing people. Right. I remember now. Oh! Probably should have. That was unexpected. There we go.
Glad you're on your toes.
It's a useful survival skill.
This is one of the first puzzles back then. I don't remember how long did I struggle with this one. Probably not much.
What's all this stuff for?
Moving heavy materials deeper into the mountain, probably. Sometimes ancient builders had to tunnel around hard rock deposits.
Wasn't that difficult actually. This really brings me back. Still, the game looks really good, I think. Oh, right. Okay. F was the one to dive. And space is to swim up. One high from me, a little stinker. Swimming mechanics I also very much enjoyed back in the day.
Why predators attack prey larger than themselves is a mystery.
And a pity.
Indeed. It's kind of funny how this evoked some kind of controversy back in the day. I see we have a little bit of a texture problem here. And here as well. And here, I don't remember these problems back in the day. Maybe because I put on the maximum. There was a way to sprint actually. I don't remember exactly what I should.
Is that a skull of a monkey or a person? Spooky.
In all honesty, never for my life I could actually tell apart. This so-called skull was very huge. Doesn't seem to be like human size. I mean, look, compared to Lara, for example, her head doesn't really look that big.
Cunning.
Let's see. There we go. And we finally come to the big puzzle of the level.
Looks like you're going forward.
Yes, but how?
With patience and persistence.
I remember these things were pretty kind of difficult in those days. At least they seemed that. And because of the puzzles, I couldn't really make them particularly difficult. Ow.
Someone
Bad
picked
kitty.
an unfortunate place to hunt.
Bad kitty. Anyway, I remember what I had to do here. I had to push up down all the platforms. That's one. Let's see. There we go. Almost. This was the annoying part always of this specific puzzle. Probably should bring it to the very edge of this. There we go. Or maybe I just should use this part. I'm assuming this was specifically meant to jump on, but I never actually did it. I always just used the previous method. And I was a fool to not utilize it. It's way much easier. Look at the reflections in the water, I mean. I don't think that I remember those when I was playing. Well, to be fair, back then I don't think that my graphics card would have been able to even display such reflections. It was very poor and I had to play this on very low settings, as well as on a fairly low resolution screen as well. This is full HD panel, so there's not really... there is a big difference now. There we go. Now all I have to do is just place these on the correct. I remember I struggled pretty much a lot with this back in the day. I think it took me well over a half an hour to figure out what to do, which is kind of embarrassing since the puzzle is
Man, this place is weird and complicated.
Not really.
It wasn't so back when it was fully furnished. We're looking at the stripped down version of what's left 1,000 years later.
It's not that difficult actually. Although to be fair, I already know the solution to these puzzles, so I guess it's unfair to say it's not easy. Oh, right. The direction that I go is very, well, view specific. Let's see. The part that I really loved about Tomb Raider games in general is specifically the Croft Manor levels. I always kind of enjoyed playing on them. Because it's basically a house of a rich woman, of a rich girl. You know, the funny part about Tomb Raider games for me personally is a lot of people really are specifically focusing on the appearance of the main character, in this case Lara Croft, and how, well, basically curvy she is, but personally, I never paid that much attention to it. Yes, she's kind of pretty, but I never actually used it as my main argument for playing these games. It was the adventure and the sense of it, like playing like an Indiana Jones. Oh, I kind of always hated this. These quick time event moments are always so kind of were annoying back in the day. And when,
One piece?
And still breathing, yes.
when they first appeared, it was actually kind of surprising. Because nothing of the sort ever basically existed in previous games, at least not those that I've played. So it was kind of a surprise. Bad kitty. Sorry I had to do that, but don't want to be eaten. The next treasure. Mind you that when I first played the game, I did not have access to the internet. So getting all this treasure was kind of
It's the center of the evil Kotrak Empire.
None of this appears in any of the literature, but I'd say they're ceremonial in nature.
If that's the case, it's not a ceremony I'm keen on witnessing.
There we go. That was the way to get there. You had to start all over. I tried back in the day. It's not like it really takes that much time. Although back in the day it did seem to be like a very long time. And to be perfectly honest, the game is not all that long. It's fairly short. I think I could have actually beaten the game in a matter of a single day. Or two, if I'll be very conservative with my time. Ah, the altar. I have some more graphical artifacts on character faces.
Lara, have you found anything for the fire? Lara? No, get back!
She took it fairly well.
Hold your fire!
More graphical artifacts.
Lara Croft! I've been hoping I'd get to meet you. At ease. We're just gonna talk.
I'm listening.
Maybe you found a piece of this. Is this what led you here?
Where did you find that?
It doesn't matter. What's important is what it does. Do you know?
What I know is my business.
So you don't then, and that means you don't have a piece. Amanda said you were sloppy. You should have paid more attention in Paraíso.
Amanda? Amanda's dead. What the hell do you know about Paraíso?
We're done talking.
Let's see. It's kind of funny that the enemies are fairly dumb and really easy to beat. Oh, fine, I put it on mediums difficulty. But back in the day when I played it, even medium difficulty seemed kind of challenging.
There is more than one. Father, you were right.
What was that?
Keep yourselves caffeinated, lads. We've some work ahead of us.
Caffeinated.
Still alive. Can't complain about that.
Well, this was the first level of Tomb Raider Legend. I had a little bit of the backstory of this game from my perspective. So, yeah. I've unlocked the trial. Yeah, I really love these. The soundtrack. I still really love it. It's as good as it was back then for me. Alright then. I suppose after this, I suppose we'll just end the video.
You've heard of the Rutlands, right? From the States? Well, you just met the senator's youngest son, James Rutland. Went to West Point, and that's about all he's done.
Call up the footage, please.
Welcome home, Lady Croft. Will your hand luggage require emptying or filling?
Winston, take a look at this. It's almost identical, just configured differently.
Identical to what?
Something I saw a long time ago in Nepal, miles from any pre-Incan culture.
And you believe this to be a fragment of the sword?
What sword?
More likely another of its kind. Zip, I want you to find out what you can about this Rutland, particularly where he is at the moment.
Try Peru. You talked about Paraíso.
He did imply there's information about the artifacts there.
He said you've been to Paraíso. What happened there? And who's Amanda?
Alistair, go over these images and see what you can work out. Zip, ring Anaya and see if she can meet me in Paraíso Saturday morning.
So yeah.
They don't seem quite so keen on visitors these days.
But hey, you're the one with the guns.
You can't blame me for knowing how to accessorize. Any word from Anaya?
She said she'd meet you at the statue in the marketplace.
At least we'll have our privacy.
On this note, I suppose we'll end for today. I may revisit this game even further if I have anything else to talk about it. But otherwise, for today, this will be it. Thank you for your attention.